Day, good afternoon. Thank you for attending our regular monthly scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting. It is 12:05, September 24th, 2024. Thank all our commissioners who are in attendance and everybody in our Zoom call as well. First item will be our roll call. Commissioner Torres.
Here. Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Delia.
Present.
Commissioner Rice.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Corpus and Chairman Rivera are excused. We have quorum. Thank you. Item number 2, board meeting and public announcements. First printing Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. And second printing Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. And those are printed out in all of your packets. Please take a look at them. And if you have any questions or concerns, please, you may address them.
So on page 5, the first paragraph under discussion, I think that should be another.
Oh, one moment, Commissioner, excuse me. No, we're on the public announcements.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right.
I'm wrong.
No, just the,
So sorry.
no, you're good. We're still on the public announcements that were printed in the Daily Post, I believe. So everything is in order, the dates especially, and item numbers as well. I don't have any questions. We'll be moving along. Board meeting public announcements are in order. Thank you. All right, now we're moving on to item number 3, approval of previous board minutes from August 13th, 2024 and August 30th, 2024. Commissioner, you had a page number 5.
So on page 5,
Okay.
the first paragraph, it should read, after processes, another chart with more detailed information.
Thank you.
If I may, on that same page, on page 5, the paragraph towards the bottom that starts with Director Napoli indicated that the other challenge in terminating those with past due rents is that GHURA does not want to add to, just add the word to, the homelessness situation.
Thank you, Madam Director.
The other one I have is on page 8 at the very top, the first bullet where it says GHURA's FY 2023 audit completed. If we could just add the word was completed in June.
Your fiscal year 2023 audit was, that the word was before the work completed. All right, commissioners, I'm seeing no other corrections or concerns. Floor is yours if you have any you want to add or address anything in terms of the previous board minutes. None? Thank you, Commissioner Boyce. Commissioner?
None for me.
Thank you. All right, with that being said, may I call for a motion, please, to approve our previous board minutes?
I don't, oh, I move to approve, board meetings on the 13th of August 2024 with noted corrections. And the other board meeting on 30th of August 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner. May I get a second, please? All right, and show hands, please. We're going to take a vote. Before. Thank you. Motion passes. Approval of previous board minutes has been approved. Subject with corrections. All right, moving on to our new business.
Budget.
Please. All right, item number 4, new business. Number 1, resolution number FY 2024-022. Resolution approving fiscal year 2025 operating budgets for public housing asset management projects at GQ 001000001, GQ 001000002, GQ 001000003, and GQ 0100004. Madam Director.
Thank you for that, Vice Chair Nate. Your board packet did include the FY 2025 budget. And so I will read the resolution, and then if you have any questions, we do have the AMP site managers present, because this first part of the resolution has to do with the public housing asset management projects. And we also have Ms. Francis Danelli on Zoom. So I will proceed with reading the resolution. Resolution number FY 2024-022, resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 operating budgets for public housing asset management projects, or AMPs, GQ 001000001, GQ 001000002, GQ 001000003, and GQ 001000004. Whereas the authority and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, entered into a consolidated annual contributions contract, ACC number SF-272, dated March 27, 1967. And whereas the authority administers HUD's low-rent public housing program, which is subsidized by HUD through its operating fund, and whereas HUD, with the implementation of 990.255 of the operating fund final rule, requires public housing authorities to implement project-based management, project-based budgeting, and project-based accounting. And whereas the authority, in anticipation of the aforementioned requirement, has grouped its housing developments into asset management projects, or AMPs. Whereas the proposed fiscal year 2025 AMP budgeted expenditures are necessary in the efficient and economical operations of the AMPs for the purpose of serving low-income residents. Therefore, be it resolved that the FY 2025 AMP operating budgets for the authority's asset management projects, GQ 001000001, GQ 001000002, GQ 001000003, and GQ 001000004 are hereby approved. If you have any questions for the property site managers for those AMPs, they are online in Zoom. Otherwise, I will read the second resolution of the budget. Unless you want me to proceed to the second resolution and then ask questions?
Yes, Madam Director, that'd be preferred.
Okay.
Thank you.
So resolution number FY 2024-023, resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 operating and administrative budget. Whereas the authority must continue its primary mission to provide safe, decent, and sanitary housing to the people of Guam in fiscal year 2025. And whereas the authority must ensure the continued operation of the public and Indian housing choice voucher, supportive housing for the elderly, and community development programs. And whereas the authority must ensure the continued payment of personnel salaries, benefits, and other administrative expenditures for fiscal year 2025. And whereas to allow the authority the flexibility for addressing situational needs to meet its mission, provide transfer authority of 10% to the executive director within the total budget, and keep the chairman of the board apprised of such transfers. Therefore, be it resolved that the FY 2025 operating and administrative budget is hereby approved.
Thank you, Madam Director.
Welcome.
Commissioners, I believe we also have our app managers available via Zoom if you have any questions you'd like to ask them.
So for page 5, what are membership dues? Sorry, just refresh my memory. Yeah.
Can you
I'm
repeat
sorry,
the question?
Commissioner Alicia. I mean, but
I'm sorry.
which
Just-
page again? Page 25?
No, page 5.
Page 5. Of the budget?
Yes, of the budget. Sorry, that's what is that what we're reviewing now?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, I have to get there.
no problem. Just refresh my memory as to what are membership dues?
Let me see, under what membership dues?
Under the
Okay.
budget line item.
So these are memberships that they would go in, that the AMPS or even the executive director could be a member of, like the NARU or the FADA that we have for our agency, which are very helpful organizations that help housing authorities.
Okay.
Thank you, Francis. Quick question. The two organizations that you just mentioned for our listening audience and some who may not know what those acronyms or names mean, could you just reiterate? I know you mentioned this prior some meetings ago. Could you just let us know what those two organizations and what they do, what they entail, and how they pertain to this membership dues?
Okay, let me, I'm sorry, Vice Chair, it's just that I take for granted the acronym, but let me look it up
That's okay.
and then I can get back to you.
You are good.
In a
Yes,
bit.
yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
NARU stands for National Housing Association of Housing and Redevelopment Officials.
Right.
And FADA is a similar organization. I think it's public housing.
Advocates,
Yes,
public housing advocates, advocacy.
You have to excuse us. There's
Yes,
Quite
there's
a
public housing
plethora of
advocacy.
items.
Okay, so FADA stands for Public Housing Authorities Directors Association.
Correct.
And
And so they're actually, FADA has been, they're an advocate for all the public housing authorities nationally. And so every time there are regulations or whatever that affect, appropriations, for example, like appropriations to the public housing authorities or even their implementation of regulations, they advocate for the public housing authorities if they feel that there have been maybe shortfalls in funding that was given to them, or they advocate for if they are putting out implementation of regulations and the timelines are actually not reasonable timelines. So they advocate for the public housing authorities nationwide. And actually, FADA is the agency that advocated for public housing agencies way back in, I believe it was I'm trying to remember, it was 2017. And there was a class action lawsuit that favored, against HUD, that favored the public housing authorities, and GHURA was one of the housing authorities that benefited from that class action lawsuit. So they advocate for the public housing agencies. And then NARO is a National Association of Housing, which offers, a lot of trainings during the year for public housing agencies, including board members, et cetera. So they provide a lot of information to the public housing agencies.
Thank you, Madam Director. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Moman. Thank you, Francis.
Welcome.
So just so I'm understanding, Francis, on how to review the budget. So for pages 4 and 5, that is a total of pages 7 through, right?
Yes.
7, okay, I just want to make sure that I'm calculating that right.
Yes, you are correct, Commissioner Nisha. It's a summary of all the divisions. I figured I kind of give you guys something where you can see it all at one time, in one place.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
thank
you,
you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that collectively.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see it, so I'm already there.
So she's giving you the overall budget and then
The breakdown.
The breakdown.
specific pages that gives you per division.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay.
Commissioners, do you agree that if there were anything else that we could address, we'll bring it up in the future meetings? Considering the length of the budget, that's naturally going to take a bit of our time in order to address any concerns. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so if there are no other questions or anything you would like to address, I'm going to call for a motion to approve resolution number FY2024-02. I call motion, please.
And they're two separate resolutions, so you might want to do one at a time.
Okay. Oh, this is what I did.
Okay. Call for,
For page 41,
Number 1.
number 1, and then which would be resolution from.
call for a motion to approve resolution number FY 2024-2022.
Correct.
The resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 operating budget for the public housing asset management projects A and B, GQ 001 00001, GQ 001 00002, GQ 001 00003, and GQ 001 00004.
Yes. And no, that's. Thank you. May I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Show of hands, please. We'll go ahead and take a vote on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioners. All right, moving it on. Resolution number FY 2024-023. Resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 operating and administrative budget. Madam Director, the floor is yours again.
Hi, Vice Chair.
Oh,
I read
excuse
that
me,
resolution and we just need to approve it now. It was part of the entire budget.
Okay, that's right.
But we have to
Correction.
separate them.
Correction. So we approved the resolution -002. I'm going to make a motion now. I'm going to call a motion to approve -23. Okay. All right. So I'm going to call a motion on the floor to approve resolution number FY 2024-023.
I will make a motion
Thanks.
to pass resolution number FY 2024-023. The resolution approving the fiscal year 2025 operating and administrative budget.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner. Show of hands to call vote. Thank you. Resolution number FY 2024-023 is approved. Thank you.
And thank you for making it so much easier to read and understand.
And digestible.
From prior years.
You're welcome, but if you have any other suggestions, please let me know.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier.
Thank you. All right, moving along. Item number 3, intent of award, IFP GHURA-24-008, concrete roof repair and coating at GHURA 100 building units. Madam Director of Forces.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Intent of award, IFB GHURA-24-008, concrete roof repair coating at GHURA 100 Yona units. Bid opening for the subject project was held on July 9th, 2024 at 3:00 p.m. A total of 11 bidders registered for the bid and given bid specifications, of which 6 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. Vendor number 1 was Genesis Tech Corporation with a bid bond of 15% of the total bid amount. 120 consecutive calendar days of $883,000. Vendor number 2 was Guam Evergreen Corporation with a bid bond of 15% of the total bid amount at $545,000. Note that the vendor did not meet the requirements. Vendor number 3, OH Construction, with a cashier's check for 15%. And $790,000 bid. Note that this vendor did not meet the requirements. Vendor number 4, Asia Pacific International Incorporated, with a cashier's check, 15% of the total amount, and a bid of $1,056,389. Vendor number 5 was Surface Solutions, with a 15% of total bid amount at a bid of $1,348,000. And vendor number 6 was Pacific Federal Management with a 15% of total bid amount and a bid of $3,496,499.23. The government estimate for this project was $1,382,100. The breakdown required for each item description was noted, and we did show that Genesis Tech Corp for base bid item number 1, with the item description of item number 1, water blast and clean entire concrete roof of 99 units. Estimated quantity 1 measure LS, unit bid price of $54,450. Item number 2 was removal and disposal, estimated quantity 1 measure LS, unit bid price of $40,095. Item number 3 description was epoxy injection / repair cracks and concrete spall for 13 units, estimated quantity 1 measure LS, unit bid price of $38,350. And item number 4 was to provide new elastomeric roof coating, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, and unit bid price of $750,105, so that the total cost of base bid number 1 was $883,000. Guam Evergreen Corporation did a base bid item number 1. Item number 1, 12 units roof crack repair and spalls repair for 12 units at $2,000 per unit. Unit bid price of $24,000. Item number 2, 99 units roof coating, clean and strip all existing elastomeric roof coating, power wash, clean and remove all grease, oil, dirt, and others. Apply an elastomeric roof membrane over the entire roof and to include roof fascia curb, material multi-thane, 60 milliliters primer, second and third coat membrane, with a unit bid price of $521,000, so that the total cost of the base bid 1 was $545,000. But please note that the vendor did not meet the requirements. And then OH construction base bid item number 1 was 12 units roof crack and spalls repair at $3,000 per unit, unit bid price of $36,000. Item number 2 was 99 units, 62,000 square feet at $4.65 per unit, or per square foot, I think, with a unit bid price of $754,000, and the total cost of base bid 1 from OH Construction was $790,000. And note that the vendor did not meet the requirements as well. And then Asia Pacific International Inc. With the base bid item number 1, and item description was just total cost of base bid 1 at unit bid price of $1,056,389. Surface Solutions base bid item number 1, and their base bid item descriptions were mobilization, safety signs, demobilization, estimated quantity 1, measure LS at $4,009.76 with a unit bid price of $4,976. Item number 2 was to provide and install approved fall protection barrier system around perimeter of the facility. New installation for 99 units at $80.20 per unit, with a unit bid price of $7,939.32, and had 2-bedroom units at 16 each, demo and remove existing urethane coating up to bare concrete. 20,528 was the estimated quantity. Measure SF at $1.34 price, and a unit bid price of $27,437.43. Okay, they had a really long item description. Maybe I just go number 4, pressure wash and clean roof area, 20,528 square feet, 33 cents per price at $6,859.36. Apply new urethane roof coating to be applied to 60 millimeter thickness for 20,528 square feet, $6.48 price at $133,071.53. And they broke it down further to 3-bedroom units, 6 demo and remove existing urethane coating up to bare concrete for 79,336 square feet at $1.34, to a bid of $106,039.35. Number 7 for the 3-bedroom units, pressure wash and clean roof area at 79,336 square feet at 33 cents price, for an amount of $26,509.84. Number 8, apply new urethane roof coating to be applied to 60 millimeter thickness for 79,336 square feet at a price of $6.48, and a total of $514,290.86. And then part 3 was for 3-bedroom duplex units. Number 9 was demo and remove existing urethane coating up to bare concrete for 19,242 square feet at $1.34, for a total of $25,718.58. Number 10, pressure wash and clean roof area for 19,242 square feet at 33 cents, a price of 33 cents, for a total of $6,429.64. And number 11, apply new urethane roof coating to be applied to 60 millimeter thickness for 19,242 square feet at a price of $6.48, and a total of $124,735.11. And part 4 was for the 4-bedroom units. Number 12, demo and remove existing urethane coating up to bare concrete for 38,260 square feet at a price of $1.34. And a total of $51,137.76. Number 13, pressure wash and clean roof area for 38,260 square feet at a price of 33 cents. on a total of $12,784 dollars. I believe that should be in and 44 cents. Change the comma to dollars. And number 14, apply new urethane roof coating to be applied to 60 milliliter thickness at 38,260 square feet. Price of $6.48 for a total of $248,018.15. And number 15, roof crack repair by epoxy injection for 380 LF, $24.06 price, and a total of $9,142.25. And number 16, concrete fall repair for 75 units or 75 square feet at a price of $16.04 for a total of $1,202.693. Wait, that doesn't seem right. 1,202 probably and 69 cents. And a total bid from Surface Solutions of $1,348,000. And the last vendor was Specific Federal Management for base bid item 1. The general requirement, estimated quantity, measure of LS, price of $401,776.48. I think we're missing 1 second. I think I'm missing the top of that should have the name of.
Madam Director, is it the Pacific?
Oh, no, it
Federal?
is Pacific Federal Management. You're right. Pacific Federal Management, and then it just continues on the next page where they go further into cleaning and stripping all existing elastomeric roof coating, power wash, clean and remove all grease, oil, dirt, and other contaminants for 162,600 square feet at a price of $4.19. Total of $681,294. Number 2, expose all roof cracks, repair roof cracks with pressure epoxy injection, 380 LF, $16 price of $16.50 for $6,270. Repair existing concrete spots with epoxy mortar 1/2 inch deep, 75 square feet, $52.41. For a total of $3,930.75, and apply an elastomeric roof membrane over the entire roof and to include roof fascia curb for 162,600 square feet at a price of $14.78, and a total of $2,403,228. So that the total cost of base bid 1 from Pacific Federal Management was $3,496,499.23. The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GHURA are safe and appealing to the residents. The AMP2 development oversees 99 units in Yona. These units are 49 years old and require upgrading, renovating, or repair. An assessment was conducted to estimate the extent of the repairs needed for the roofs for the GHURA 100 project in Yona. The assessment revealed that all 99 units require concrete roof repair and coating. However, 6 of the 99 units were identified as needing extensive concrete repair. Based on the results of the assessment, it is recommended that roof coating be applied upon the completion of all the roof repairs. In review of the bid results, Genesis Tech Corp provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award of 120 consecutive calendar days for construction with no option periods and not to exceed the amount of $883,000. If you have any questions, we have Cherry from A&E.
I'm also here, ma'am.
Oh, and Tony
Urban, yes, as well as
from
urban.
procurement.
All right, thank you, Madam Director. Appreciate that. Okay.
Yes, it was a lot. I just like to, I don't know if it's a question or a suggestion. I feel like the item descriptions, not, I mean, for myself, I think they should all be the same because it's the same work, right, that's being requested. But every single bidder had a different description. So just in the future, if we can have it more uniform for a better understanding. Does that make sense or is that doable?
It's doable.
Right?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Because, yeah, I was confused and, when you come to think of it, right? It really, I mean, the 883,000, yes, it's a good number, right? But I feel like all the other, are they providing the same type of service that we need?
And they should. And the reason why we indicated this is because we wanted to get as transparent as possible, because we wanted to indicate the pricing as well. But if we want to revise this to make it more that vegetable friendlier so that somebody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I feel like when we put out the bid, right, all the item descriptions are the same,
Correct.
but every single,
Specifications are correct.
yeah, okay,
Are all the same.
okay.
Yeah, because, Commissioner brings up a very good point, the scope and how it's itemized and described in our meetings. I was actually alluding to that. If we're looking at the scope of the bid, and then I'm looking at this service solution, and they literally took it on a micro level. So what the commissioner may have been alluding to is the description of the itemized work and scope of the work. Is it necessarily the same in terms of when the bid originally went out and descriptively, right? So,
Understood.
yeah, and again, nothing wrong. It's more in terms of keeping things concise. And so that we're on the same page. Yeah,
So, what
Thank you,
Surface Solution did was they took our scope
Yeah.
and they matched the breakdown of value.
Gotcha.
And the other contractors, when they turned in their bid, they just did a lump sum. They added all of it. So that's why there's a difference of how
it's described,
described in their bid.
correct?
One of the things that we do at A&E is after the award is award or the contract is awarded, we ask for a schedule of values for all of it to be broken down so we can see what cost is in the lump sum. So the way they break down their bid, but they are all responsible for the same work on that scope of work that we put out for the bid
Sure.
package.
So how they describe it when they return the information
Yeah.
based on the
Correct.
time that it is required, it's arbitrary on how they give it the information back. I had a quick question since you're here, but thank you. The value, when you say value, when they're valuing the scope, is it industry based or is it arbitrary based? And do you compare that to what we understand is where it should be valued at
So
intrinsically?
So
Right.
our engineers, when they look at the scope of work and we create the scope of work, there is a government cost estimate. And that is actually taken from a program called RS Means. So depending on how many linear feet, then we plug it in and it also looks at where you're located at, like what would it cost? And so that's how we work our cost estimate.
Gotcha.
And then that's how we present it to the app managers on what it would possibly cost.
Sure.
Now, the cost kind of changes as the bids come in.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
That's the only question I had.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell me too.
So, if I may, I think maybe for future, because I can see where if you have the government estimate at $1,382,100, and then the award is going to someone who bid at $883,000. Maybe Irvin, you can clarify if the difference in the government estimate and what was being offered by the vendor that we are intending to award whether you guys asked the questions that needed to be asked to ensure that the work that, the scope of work that was needed for these projects was, they answered it, you know, it was sufficient to be awarded to them. When, you know, when you go over the review, right? And you see the big difference in the government estimate and then the company who has the lowest bid, you guys are asking the questions on why did they come up so much lower than the government estimate, right? I think that would help the commissioners to understand why the big difference.
Yes, thank you, Madam Director. If I may interject and add to that, Jamila, a very good point. How would you, in English, quantify the math? As an example, the government estimate is 1.3 million for this specific project, and we're going to award it to this specific corporation. There's a $500,000 difference. So where are we in terms of, my big issue, as always, before awarding contracts is I like to personally quantify things so that the quality is never compromised and that we're getting the best bang for our buck, basically. So, you know, sometimes the highest bidder is always tends to be the best after we quantify it. Sometimes the lowest bidder may not be conducive to our objectives. Yeah. So, you know, on top of what Madam Director was saying, how do you quantify the quality versus?
So
Yeah.
for A&E, when we look at our cost estimate and we also see the bids come in.
Right.
And we evaluate the bids and some, like in this instance, there is a $500,000 bid. If we were to be, even the first bid that came, the one that was really low.
Gotcha.
Right,
Okay.
or even at 883.
Correct.
So we will ask for a schedule of values from them to see where they're cheaper than our cost estimate.
Sure.
And before when we come to that point, is it reasonable? Maybe they have a discount. How much? I guess the 500,000, is that really a amount that they can take in for consideration? And our engineers go through those numbers, and if they say it's okay, then we do go ahead and evaluate as, is it a responsive bid?
Sure.
And that would be one of the criteria to see if it's responsive.
Got it. Thank you so much. Yeah. So on a bigger picture, I'm also looking out on a macro perspective. The app managers are naturally equally important, right? Because we don't want the app managers coming back saying, okay, this scope has been done, the deal's done. And, you know, our app managers are not getting the quality that their expectations met. So I have to look out, and collectively as the board, we have to look out for from a future tense perspective, the quality, because once we approve this, we don't want to go back and having to redo work that was already solidified, not questioning the quality and scope of what you do, because we pretty much trust in your ability to vet the quality of our potential contractors, you know, but collectively as the board, we have to think about the app managers and all of the potential unforeseen events that could potentially derail these projects, right? So it starts from, we derive back from the cause so that any future potential effects do not cause and cost the agency and stress out our app managers any more than they need. So, you know, again, like I told Chairman, we're all about seeing things on a macro level and a micro level. So hence why the quality and the quantitative approach to these bids have to be so important, and they're so imperative because you, like us, we've seen how the elements from an engineering perspective through time, a lot of this work is worn and torn through time and through the just living on Guam, right? So they're going to get constant exposure to the elements and all these unforeseen events, typhoons, earthquakes, et cetera. So that's why we're very not concerned, but you know, we're just being judicious and objective.
If we work on, so one of the aspects of projects like this is we have construction management.
Right.
And we have inspectors that go out to make sure that the contractor is following the scope of work.
Correct.
And what is done, so that's done daily.
Right.
And so that's how we can, assure, the app managers that the work that's being done is of good quality.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, in the scope, in the cost estimate, I believe there's a 15% through A&E.
There is.
And so that's kind of adds that 50% of 1 million is like about 150,000. So if we're really looking at their cost estimate, it's actually about 300,000, not 500,000 on the difference.
Sure.
And so that's kind of, and we're working on even separating that 15% of GHURA AE so it doesn't look like, oh, it's supposed to be 1.3 million.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we have that
That's one of the
50%.
conversations we're having.
Right.
It's a little bit confusing then when you kind of like explain it in that way. And then I guess also for full transparency, right, when it says vendor did not meet the requirements, so like, why didn't they meet the requirements?
So the requirement that was not met was a contractor's license, number 42 and number 55. 42 is roofing, a contractor that can do roofing work.
Okay.
And C55 is waterproof, to make sure that the roof is waterproof. It's a waterproofing license.
Okay, thank you.
Which is,
Excuse me, not to interject, because my mind's going so fast. Before I forget, is it because they didn't have it yet, or they never had it?
So if I may, Vice Chair, so what makes the bid responsive is basically they have to make sure that they're responsive based on the criteria.
Criteria,
So whatever that the agency requires,
sure.
they must make sure that those are submitted because that is part of the requirement of what we ask for.
Nice, thank you so much.
Mhm.
So
That's
how-
what makes them. So if based on the evaluation, so if bids are evaluated and they did not meet that criteria by submitting those required documents,
Mhm.
that automatically makes them that they're not
They're not responsive. Does it have to all be submitted at once, or can the contractor submit, okay, like, Mr. Tony,
Mhm.
I have what you need, I don't have this part of it, the scope or the contract, the criteria yet, but I will next week, hypothetically
Shouldn't
speaking.
be reviewed.
It has to be upon bid.
Gotcha, so collectively, it all has to be there, gotcha, okay. Thank you, so appreciate it.
I have a question. So are the residents gonna be there while they're doing the work?
yes,
To the Yona unit,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But you normally notify them, right? that
Yes,
you're gonna be-
and they will be notified ahead of time, and safety is something that we also look over. They are required to follow all OSHA. So, yes.
Wonderful,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, everybody.
Please tell me your name again.
Urban.
Urban.
I'm gonna remember you.
So we apologize for the lengthy write-up, so.
Oh, no, it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't be.
I just, I just wanted to understand, because like I said, in determining, right, like who really is the best vendor, or I don't know what we call it here, vendor for the job, it makes it easier to understand.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Zonia, this is, Kira.
Round two, yes, Gina.
Gina.
Is she here?
Oh, yes, she is. Hi, Gina, good afternoon.
Hi,
Hi, this is Chairman.
hi Commissioners.
Hi, good afternoon. Ms.
Good
Gina,
afternoon.
quick
Yes,
question, since we're all here, is there anything alongside the current IFB award to and intent to award our contractors, is there anything you wanted to add to this? To our meeting? Excuse me, to our discussion?
no,
Sorry.
I'm listening in on all the comments and taking notes.
Okay.
But
I wanna-
I'm okay with the knowing that the amount that the bid came in. This, I believe, is gonna be funded through the CAP fund. But it is my project. It'll be happening here in Jonia.
Okay, sorry to put you on the spot. I just wanted to get your
No
thoughts.
worries.
We value everyone's opinion. So since this is your this is your section, this is your part, so we want to make sure that, you know, you're inundated with the right information, and most importantly, you're included. We value your input as well.
Yes, procurement office has been keeping me on top of the information, and so has Urban.
All right. Thank you very much, Gina. Have a great
Okay,
day.
thank you. You too.
So Irvin, I'm sorry, one last question, and it's just a clarification, okay? So we identified 6 units, 6 of the 99 units, right, that need extensive concrete repair. So on Genesis Tech, is it the same type of repair for the 13 units? Under Genesis Tech, item number 3?
Yeah, so when they say intensive, it might be the size of the cracks already.
Okay,
But the other ones may have hairline cracks that it needs to be repaired and still need to be injected by epoxy.
okay, so it's Genesis Tech's recommendation that there's 13, but for GURA, we really only identified 6 houses. 6, yeah, based on your summary. Is that correct?
Yeah, so what it is the linear foot. They're given a linear foot of what they're going to repair.
Okay,
And that is where they're when they identified the 6, they saw that it was
more,
extensive.
gotcha, okay, I just want to make sure. Oh, I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Irvin. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tony. All right, commissioners, I think we drilled and supported our team as much as we can on this agenda. Commissioner Torres, did you have any further questions?
No.
Okay, all right, so with that being said, if there's no other questions, I am going to call for a motion. Item number 3, please. Yeah.
Motion to approve, item number 3, intent to award, IFB GURA 24-008. Concrete roof repair and coating at GURA 100 Yona units. To the Genesis Tech Corporation, which provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award of 120 consecutive calendar days for construction with no option periods and not to exceed the amount of $883,000.
Thank you, Commissioner Torres. All right, may I get a second, please?
I second that.
Thank you. So we'll pass the full vote on this. All right, thank you. Item number 3 has been approved. All right, moving along. Item number 4, intent to award IFB GURA -24-009 ground maintenance for rural properties. Madam Director.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Intended award for IFB GURA -24-009 grounds maintenance for GURA properties. Bid opening for the subject project was held on August 20th, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. A total of 4 bidders registered for the bid and given bid specifications, of which 4 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. Vendor number 1 was GET LLC Consulting Equipment with a bid bond cashier's check of 15%. And a bid amount of $108,816. Vendor number 2 was Flame Tree Freedom Center with a bid bond based on Flame Tree Freedom Center's nonprofit status and in accordance with 5 GCA 5217. This requirement does not apply to Flame Tree. And a bid of $88,800 for a total cost of $197,616 for both bids, and the government estimate was $75,000 A breakdown for each item description is as noted below. Invitation for bid number IFB GURA -24-009 was officially announced and advertised in the Pacific Daily News, the Guam Daily Post, and GURA's website on July 18th, 2024. The bidders who registered were Flame Tree Freedom Center, Get Consulting Equipment LLC, Pro Ferry, and Guam Cleaning Masters, Inc. Of the four submitted bid proposals, all four submitted bid proposals. An evaluation committee convened on Tuesday, August 27th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. with 4 bid proposals submitted by Flame Tree Freedom Center, Get Consulting Equipment LLC, Pro Ferry, and Guam Cleaning Masters, Inc. After further evaluation based on the lowest responsive and responsible bid, the committee members determined the lowest responsible bidders met all the criteria. The option to purchase bid item 3 was not accepted by the evaluation committee. Therefore, committee members determined that Get LL Consulting Equipment was awarded bid item 1, and Flame Tree Freedom Center was awarded bid item 2. As follows. Bid item 1, item description, AMP1, estimated quantity 12 at a unit price of $3,835. The total cost of $46,020. Sinahanya main office, estimated quantity 12 at $1,005 unit price, a total cost of $12,060. For AMP4, quantity 12, price of $1,780, total of $21,360. And Gumat Tranquilidad, quantity 12, price of $2,448 and a total of $29,376. The total of bid item 1 was $108,816, and it was awarded to Get LLC Consulting Equipment. Item number 2, AMP2, quantity 12, price $3,260, total of $39,120. And AMP3, quantity 12,500, price of $5,580 and a total of $66,960. So this was a total of bid item 2 of $106,080. And it indicates that option to purchase 3 additional grass cutting based on environmental factors to include heavy rainfall months. Quantity of 8 was $0, and the option was to purchase was not accepted for that. And then vendor Flame Tree Freedom Center, bid item number 1 for AMP1, estimated quantity 12 at a unit price of $2,950, total cost of $35,400. Sinahanya main office, estimated quantity 12 at a unit price of $500 and a total cost of $6,000. AMP4, quantity 12, price $4,500, total cost $54,000. Gumat Tranquilidad, quantity 12, price of $3,500, total of $42,000. So total for bid item number 1 was $137,400. Bid item 2 for AMP2, quantity 12, price of $2,800 at a total of $33,600. AMP3, quantity 12, price of $4,600 and a total of $55,200. So the total for bid item number 2 of total of $88,800 was awarded to Flame Tree Freedom Center. And as well, option to purchase 3 additional grass cutting based on environmental factors to include heavy rainfall months. Quantity of 3, $0. Option to purchase was not accepted. The vendor Guam Cleaning Masters, Inc. Bid item number 1 for AMP1, quantity 12, unit price 4,800, total of 57,600. For the Sinahani main office, quantity 12, unit price of $2,800 for a total of $33,600. AMP4, quantity 12, unit price of $3,800 for a total of $45,600. And the total of bid item number 1 was, I'm sorry, in Guma Tranquilidad, quantity 12 at $4,200 unit price, and a total of $50,400, brings the total of bid item number 1 to $187,200. AMP2, quantity 12 for bid item number 2, I'm sorry, price of $6,800 and a total of $81,600. For AMP3, quantity 12, unit price $4,600 at a total of $55,200 for a total of $136,800 for bid item 2. And then the option to purchase number 3 was also not accepted. And then the last vendor, Proferred, with a bid item number 1 for AMP1, estimated quantity 36, unit price $7,913.74 for a total of $284,894.64. For the Sinahani main office, quantity 36, unit price $510.27, total cost of $18,380.52. For AMP4, quantity 36, unit price of $8,169.02 for a total cost of $294,084.72. And Guma Tranquilidad, quantity 36, at a unit price of $4,084.51 and a total of $147,042.36 for a total of $744,402.24 for bid item number 1. And then for bid item number 2, they had AMP2 for quantity 36 at $6,637.33 unit price, for a total of $238,943.88. For AMP3, quantity 36, unit price of $11,870.61, and a total of $427,341.97, so that the total for bid item number 2 was $666,285.85. As well, option to purchase 3 additional grass cutting based on environmental factors to include heavy rains, fall months, was an option to purchase that was not accepted. The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority's GHURA's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GHURA are safe and appealing to the residents. GHURA is committed to maintaining the fence line and grounds with its properties aligned with its mission goals and overall site improvement plans. This includes GHURA's main office in Sinahanya, 4 public housing AMP sites, and Guma Tranquilidad. Professional contract services for grounds maintenance is necessary to augment GHURA's maintenance staff in their work responsibilities and maintaining the properties to be marketable for our clients. There are 4 AMP sites located with 12 villages servicing a total of 750 units. Guma Tranquilidad is Guam's multifamily rural development servicing 50 units. In review of the bid results, Get LLC Consulting Equipment and Flame Tree Freedom Center provided the lowest responsive and responsible bids. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award with the initial term for a 3-year contract with an option to renew for 2 additional years in 1-year terms and not to exceed the amount of $197,616. And I will repeat that Get LLC was awarded bid item number 1 at $108,816, and Flame Tree Freedom Center was awarded bid item 2 at $88,800, which brings that both awards to the total of $197,616. If you have any questions, I do have staff here to answer them.
Under the estimated quantity, that's for 12 cuts, or is that what it is? What is 12? And then there's 36. Under the estimated quantity. Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay, sorry. So whose project is this?
So consolidated with the amps. Let me pull it up. Which page specifically?
No, so under the quantity, I noticed that some vendors, right, their estimated quantity is 12. And then another vendor, their estimated quantity is 36. So just what exactly does that mean?
Well, the quantity will be based on the cuts. I'll look at this,
So 12
specification. 12 is once a month cut.
Okay,
36 would be,
twice a month.
will be for like the either 3 locations at once a month or multiple cuts in 1 month. Yeah, some places require more cuts, like for example, Gumatrank may not be once a month.
Right.
Some are general, like you got common areas where people play, but then general areas that are on the ground. So it kind of differs. I think if I'll look at the specification, but we have the amp managers on that can speak for this their specific amp and what they put in their request. Let me, what page was that?
It's page 48. I'm sorry. Yeah, 48 to 52.
48, okay. So amp 1, that'd be 12 cuts.
Yeah.
12 cuts.
Because like you said,
Well-
Sinahanya Mayor's office would need 12 cuts,
The Sinahanya main office?
or main office, yeah. Versus amp 1.
Correct.
It was only Profera that had 36, right?
Yes, only one at 36, and I just. one
Yeah,
of
I
them.
see.
They're overachieving, I mean.
Achievers, but I don't think we're gonna need that many cuts, right?
Yeah, we see with the,
And then I would think that Guma Tranquilidad would need more because it's bigger and there's more grass.
yeah.
I'm just thinking that.
Well, they also have a, like, you know, they normally have a laborer, so it's kind of like an
Oh.
augment. So like, you know, if the labor is working on units and things like
Uh-huh.
that, you know, the labor's not, only has time to kind of cut the grass
Okay.
and do. So it's kind of a balance, it's an adjunct. Because ultimately we still own the responsibility. But let me double check. Any bid proposals? Okay, so it's there. So they did bid. Tony, are you online? Okay. Yeah. So when ProFair did the bid it on the estimated quantity of 36, that was basically 3 cuts per
Right,
site
so what
per
happened there
month.
was actually when they submitted their bid, they based it on 36 months. But we're actually asking on a yearly, which is
Okay.
annual.
Yeah,
So their bid came in as 36 months versus 12
So
months.
this is months.
Correct.
Okay.
right.
Yes.
Not cuts. I thought it was cuts.
6 months.
Well, the month
Yes,
is a cut,
Okay,
right?
month is a
Right,
cut.
So 12 months for 1 year. If it's a 3-year contract,
So
I
it's
guess.
only on 36
Okay.
versus.
Correct, right.
And
But we asked for the unit price, right, which would have been price per site, and the unit was based on the site,
correct.
right?
Right.
12 months per site,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Per location.
So you weren't wrong.
Yeah.
So you weren't wrong.
Me?
No, you weren't.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But they also weren't recommended for the award.
No, because also I'm thinking, like you said, based on the area.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking Sinahanya main office, does it have that much grass where you're gonna have to maintain it every single month,
Yeah,
right, for that cost? Cause I'm assuming also AMP 1 and AMP 2 are bigger locations to where, yes, it's more feasible to have it cut every single month.
well, App 3 and App 4 are the largest, App 1's actually the smallest.
Okay.
Yeah, they probably have the least amount of grass, but other things, right, they're, you know, smaller, so they don't have as much maintenance. Also additionally, their location's much more visible, right? So maintenance of the grounds and, you know, we get comments all the time, hey,
Okay.
girl, when are you gonna cut your grass? Right? And so, you know, we kind of balance those things out, but we really do leave it to the app managers because they have their individual budgets. So it's about what they want to pay for. In the meantime, though, you know, they have their guys that can do it as well in between the maintenance that they do. But we could definitely look at it, the frequency that was requested.
Because once a month doesn't seem like a lot, right? In my house, like, only once a month.
Yeah. Yeah, because some of the grounds are, you know, pretty sizable, right?
Right.
And so at minimum, we like once a month, but some of the curbside appeal, they might, you know, go out, or even like the main office, right? It might only be once a month, but you know, if we needed app one, because they're responsible for this building, will come help out, you know.
Also considering acts of God, because the weather is a dictating factor. also.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking Guma Tranquilidad would be more frequent, like twice a month, you know?
Mhm.
It's bigger and there's more grass area there.
I'll definitely talk to Pearl when she comes back. Yeah.
But Didi, you said also that we have, it's augmented too.
Yeah, we have the ability to augment, but really the hard driver is really the budget,
The budget.
right?
Yeah.
There's the balance, and I'll tell you, Guma Trank, because they're not like the apps, right? They're multi-family and originally developed under USDA, probably have the smallest budget of all of them and almost no income derived from the residents. Yeah.
Okay.
So but we'll look into it. I'll definitely make the
Yeah.
inquiry. And as you can see, one of the main, and you'll see upcoming in the board meeting, we hit it yet, it's coming up. But security services was the main focus for Guma Tranquilidad because of that was one of the chief things coming back from the residents is, you know, it's open, it's in Tuma, they get a lot of foot traffic through hours of the night, people going into the area to try to access the beach and things like that.
Right. Pearl made a very good point about that some time ago. You know, so, you know, let her know that we appreciate her and I'm always looking out for our clients there, because you're right. Yeah, that place turns into a different place Thursday to Saturday night, Sunday morning, and people also just parking there at night.
Yeah.
Walking.
To be honest, I don't even know how to. So I.
We'll take you on a trip.
That's what I wouldn't know.
We'll do it right along,
We'll do it right along.
The beach access, yeah, the beach access there.
because it's a beach access there.
Well, it's not so much, we don't give people a hard time to access the beach, right, even if it's across the property. The problem is when they're parking in the residence parking lot or on the grounds
Right.
to access the beach.
Right.
That's where we're running into the issue, yeah.
Alright.
So actually prepare the cost of 7.402.24 is divided by 3 would be the actual cost, right?
Yes. The figure.
Yeah.
But there's also the added thing about before you even consider the cost, you have to make sure they were responsive and responsible. So they didn't answer the bid correctly.
Right.
Otherwise, even if they came in lower, we could see a protest.
Right.
Yeah. So we just put it down and transparent how we received it.
Yeah.
Transparency.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. Thanks, Commissioners. Commissioners, if there are no further questions or concern, I'm going to call for a motion on this.
I will make,
Oh, excuse me.
I have no questions, sorry.
No, no questions. Okay, thank you. Call motion already.
Ready?
Yes.
I will make a motion to pass IFB GHURA -24-009 for grounds maintenance for GHURA properties. For base bid 1 or bid item 1 to get LLC consulting equipment in the amount of $108,816. And then bid item number 2 to Flame Tree Freedom Center for $88,800.
Thank you, Commissioner. May I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, and go ahead and take a vote on this item. Thank you. Motion has been approved. Commissioner, thank you, everybody. Excuse me, legal.
Yes,
Please, excuse me. If I were to request 2-minute break.
that would be appropriate, sir.
Okay.
You can go ahead and do that, and I would just recommend that the camera and microphone be left open.
Correct. Okay, that's fine.
Sure.
Fellow commissioners, I make a motion to break for about 2 minutes.
Well, just say for the record, right, I know you guys already know, but for the public watching.
Sure.
No discussion on any activities or anything we're doing.
Correct.
on the break.
Absolutely. This is a
Right.
bathroom break.
Yeah, no, I know. Just want to make sure they know we're cognitive of, and
Absolutely aware of it.
we know you're aware.
Yeah, we're,
I
yeah.
put my ears in.
Okay, thank you, folks. 2 minutes. Oh, wait, you got a time.
Nice to see you again.
I have. Good seeing you too.
Reconvene at 1:30.
Time for one.
I haven't seen you.
But
Oh my goodness, no.
oh, yeah.
Please, and I will get it
Yeah,
done.
so like when we did, we'll be here for this.
I am so sorry. I don't really need her. Oh. Okay, please text me the link and I'll.
They started later.
Oh, that's, when did you get that? I already did. Oh, sorry.
You don't mind me? Of course not, please.
So 2 so far?
You know, I forget a lot of things.
That would be
I have no
quick,
problem
huh?
with
Yes, sir.
reminders. I love
4
it.
more to go.
Yes.
No. RFQ.
2. With actually
Okay,
2 that
thank
came
you.
with, no vote. I'll give you the information.
Okay, good. So we're moving along.
So we're waiting on homework here.
Dee Dee, I really thought you were like a caveman.
Uh,
Wow. Ever seen on you?
yeah, now that I'm,
Yeah.
good.
Are you
Tired.
retired?
Grow it out.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Got some paperwork I just need to wrap up. so
Okay, so.
Some
so-
admin stuff, but yeah, done.
Oh, after.
Huh? One a year? Yeah.
Wow, that's not like, who's a caveman?
Finally. right?
Me, like, when you grow up.
But this is not as long as I'm gonna grow it.
Okay, you won't let it any longer.
Yeah, need to groom it a bit. I'm growing out my hair.
Yeah.
So I know-
I noticed too.
Well, I don't know yet what I wanna do with it. So I'm just like, I'm gonna grow a little bit and see, because I can.
Yes. Now you have the freedom.
Yeah, no more high and tight for a bit.
Exciting out of the budget.
So we'll see. I'll probably like just revert back to old habits and like cut it short.
Oh,
I don't
well, at
know.
least you have options,
Right.
right? At least you have options, like some people don't.
I know.
No
but
options.
I know. It's already happened. It's on the. You won't get, set the alarm. Yeah, the 1:30. I think you just have to take it with us. Quite a big board agenda.
It is. Welcome, premiums.
Yeah. But it's okay. We're getting it pretty quick, actually.
I know, but we were supposed to have a second meeting.
Yeah.
But it was just,
But at least you got make sure we got you guys a copy of it, right?
and it was easier, like, I was just thinking to them, like, in previous budgets, it was harder to understand versus this one was a lot easier, and you have to learn how to take it on.
Better that or too far. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, sir.
Water and coffee.
Just waiting for Commissioner Torres.
We're waiting, no, we're waiting.
And
Oh, Mrs.
One commissioner. Cook.
No, it's right there.
Oh, okay.
you
I'll let you know when
Ooh,
the comes back.
Thank you. As long as I was telling
I
you,
was telling you,
it's about as long as I'll
caveman
give it.
status,
haven't seen it in that long. Wow, it's good.
yeah.
Because I never have enough time to throw in between. like,
Because
the
military,
shit.
right? Yeah.
You like
Yeah, right?
He's an intelligence.
They wish they could go over here, it's nice.
It is really nice. That's why I'm like, wow, I didn't realize you had that much hair.
Yeah, but I'm losing it up here, I don't know.
You too?
Yeah.
This is all I have. This is all I have.
Yeah, yeah, but just a big
That's
thing.
unfortunately.
But it's also.
Science. Enjoy it,
Right?
For, excuse me, for formality, is there a way that I structure the reintroduction of our meeting?
Well, I don't think he recessed.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, well, he did, he
Oh,
had
yeah.
a recess, you can just say the meeting is going to be reconvened at the time.
Okay, and then I state the time.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
We're just waiting for Ms. Liz to get back.
Man, I'm glad I ate.
Yeah.
Cause I would be starving right now. The last time, oh my God, I was like so hungry.
Yeah, we got one, we should-
Yeah. The question, I saw the question, I know, I'm like.
That was fun.
She's like, you're gonna have short meeting, right?
Okay, I'm back.
No, it's the strip.
Okay,
We're ready to reconvene, sir.
okay, thank you. Our Board of Commission meeting is now reconvened at 1:34 p.m. Thank you. Okay, we appreciate everyone's patience. We are moving along now to item number 5, intent of award IFB GHURA-24-10, security alarm monitoring and roving services. Madam Director.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Intent of award IFB GHURA-24-10, security alarm monitoring and moving services. Bid opening for the subject project was held on August 20th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. A total of 2 bidders registered for the bid and were given bid specifications, of which 1 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. The vendor that submitted a bid was G4S Secure Solutions, Guam Inc., with a bid bond, and was awarded $364,452 for line items 1, 2, and 3. The item number 1 was security services to include weekends and government holidays with 1 guard at a monthly cost of $29,603 and an annual cost of they were broken down between GT, Goma Tranquilidad, and M4. GT was at an annual cost of $201,912. M4 was at an annual cost of $153,325 for a total amount of $355,236 for bid item number 1. Bid item number 2 for 1 guard and an alarm system. Per guard for 2 locations, $528 and a total of $6,336. And item number 3 was for after hours answering services at $240 and a total of $2,880. So that the total annual cost, the monthly cost is $30,371. And the annual cost is $364,452. GHURA's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GHURA are safe and appealing to the residents. GHURA is committed to supporting its developments and providing security services to prevent crime against persons and property. Security provides a safe and danger-free environment so that residents can conduct their daily chores and businesses without fear. GHURA is looking for security services that will provide a security alarm monitoring system and a roving patrol service that will be tasked with securing the premises by staying on patrol, performing building inspections, guarding entry points, and verifying visitors. In review of the bid result, G4S Secure Solutions Guam, Inc. provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. And after further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award with the initial term for a 3-year contract with an option to renew for 2 additional years in 1-year terms and not to exceed the amount of $364,452.
Thank you, Madam Director. Commissioners. Any questions?
Item 3, after hours answering services, is that per location or is that one answering service location separate from the site? We have a central answering service aside away from the site?
Tony, I don't believe that was like a call center, right?
No, it
Yeah.
was.
It's not a
No,
call
it's not.
center.
So for example, so these roving patrols will be somewhat delegated representatives of GHURA, right? So for example, let's say somebody's breaking one of the rules and the roving passes by, they'll report it to us, right? And since they're acting on behalf, their statement will be taken as whether like GHURA provided a statement of, you know, hey, they had unauthorized visitors, they were doing some things that were not authorized under the lease, for example. So that answering service is, or let's say a tenant, right, has an issue, they'll contact that roving first to kind of assess, to kind of take the call and then give us a call and let us know.
Assess and report.
Assess and report.
That's it.
Yeah. For the most part, within the scopes, right, of security, right? Like, hey, there's somebody wandering around the premises, they don't live here. Right, so they'll be kind of our first eyes and ears before, you know, we would send somebody out because they're already kind of be patrolling the area. They're already, yeah, for after hours. Right, yeah.
Thank you.
So for item number 2, for 1 guard alarm system, the guard is the alarm system?
Pull that up.
Page 55.
55?
Mhm. That's a separate.
Okay. After hours answering services, alarm system.
No,
For
for item number 2, for 1 guard alarm system.
yes. See, for guard. Pull that back.
Because how does that differ from item number 1? Which is the guard, right?
I gotta pull up the
Commissioner, I'm sorry, excuse me.
The bid.
55?
54.
security services. Yep, that's for the guard. Oh, got it. Okay, so the item is the actual guard security services. And then I think the other 2 is for, you know, I want to answer this accurately. But can we pull up the proposal? Could be in how we wrote the bid on.
Hold on, I think the AMS can answer this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, does it tie into the next item where we have
Yes, I believe
security alarm?
there's this alarm system
Okay.
here. Give me a minute. I'll figure this out.
No problem.
You know, we're trying to keep it brief without doing the entire bid packet, but we have it too. Yeah, the roaming service, I think, was the more expensive aspect, right? That's to include weekends, government holidays, okay? No, that is the roaming guard. The after answers calling center, I think you were correct on the first time, is the call center and having the 24/7 at their central site. But they charge based on location that they're providing the service for. Same thing with the alarm system. So it's the physical alarm system per location, plus the service to have the 24/7. The 29,000 monthly
Yeah.
cost and annual cost is the actual roving service itself.
Okay,
And that will have the, where they will respond to GURA, respond to clients. This is for the physical alarm system. Those are the two components to it.
and they already have it in that location, or you're gonna?
It might be if either they need to upgrade it or a brand new installation, because this is separate from the security cameras, right?
Correct. This is, this is when they call in.
Yes,
Yeah, this is the, when they call in the alarm system. And this is an extra charge.
when they call in for the
So
alarm.
say if the alarm is triggered.
Oh, got you, okay.
Right.
Their call
Okay.
center charge. You're right, you were right the first time, yeah.
Their call center, not ours.
It's
So
a
it's
specific incident that happens, it's an extra charge.
Yes.
Correct.
To call?
And not our fault.
No, it's their service of having somebody monitoring all the alarms and say, hey, girl, your alarm at this location went off. They charge per location. So we have 5 alarm systems. There's a separate fee for that calling service.
Yes.
And this is
that's what
24 hours then?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
That's.
Oh, no, after hours, because we're in the building.
Oh, after
So they
hours.
do it, it's a discounted rate.
What's the after hours
Yeah.
specifically?
So we close at 5 to 8,
Oh.
5 to 8.
and then weekends, holidays,
Gotcha.
yeah. So when we're not actively in the building, if our alarm triggers, and it happens too, because sometimes our alarm does get triggered, whether it's a false alarm or an actual alarm, and there's multiple, not just the physical security, even like fire detection, things like that. So anything that triggers the system, they'll call one of our designated building security folks and let us know, and we'll come check it out. This actually happens.
2 days ago.
Yeah, it happens a little too much because our system's out at 8, but actually go alarms, no
Yeah.
problem.
So Ad 4 also has a security system?
Same.
Okay.
Same system.
Public housing, yeah, yes. GT.
For their main offices, for their company. But it works.
Okay.
Understood.
I'm ready to pass it.
Yeah, sorry for the confusion.
I'm just sitting here like, okay, good press. All right, thank you, take it easy, thank you, Tony. All right, commissioners, call for a motion to, pass out number 5, please. I get a motion.
I will make a motion to pass ISB GURA -24-10 for security alarm monitoring and roving services to G4S Secure Solutions in the amount of $364,452.
Thank you, Commissioner. May I get a second?
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Forrest. Show of hands and take a vote on this item. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, moving along. Item number 6, intent of award, IB Agora -24-11, rehabilitation of the Agana Heights Sportplex. Madam Director, floor is yours.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And before you guys fret and look at how many pages the item descriptions are, I was advised that I may go ahead and summarize and just read out each bid item instead of each item description. So yay, that is what I will do. So I'm so sorry I didn't do it for the first couple ones.
One of the longer versions.
So here we go. Intent of award, ISB GURA -24-11, rehabilitation of the Agana Heights fourplex. Bid opening for the subject project was held on July 26, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. A total of 4 bidders registered for the bid and were given bid specifications, of which 4 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. So vendor number 1 was Guam Evergreen Construction, and for item 6 line item description, their total bid was $289,900, and they did provide a 15% of the total bid amount. For vendor number 2, OH Construction, they presented a 15% of total bid amount. And they had item descriptions, 6 item descriptions, and their total bid amount was $328,500. Vendor number 3 was Genesis Tech Corporation, and Genesis Tech Corporation gave a cashier's check for 15%, and their item descriptions were 11, and their total cost for their base bid was $380,000. And vendor number 4 was Surface Solutions, and they presented a 15% of the total bid amount, and they had 59 line item descriptions at a total bid amount of $447,888. I'm sorry, $447,888. The government estimate was $411,094.34. So if we go to page 63, GHURA's mission and purpose is to promote the health, safety, and welfare of Guam's people by elimination of slum and blight conditions, by the orderly redevelopment and renewal of communities, by proper planning of community development, and by provision of safe, decent, and sanitary dwellings for low to moderate income families through all available federal and local governmental programs, and through encouragement of Guam's private enterprises to participate in the common task of improving our island community while upholding family values. GHURA has acquired a 4-unit apartment complex in Agana Heights that requires substantial rehabilitation. In order to meet HUD requirements, rehabilitation work is needed to bring the project into compliance and allow for these units to be occupied by qualified individuals/families. Rehabilitation includes the following: civil/utility work. In review of the bid results, Guam Evergreen Construction provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award of 180 consecutive calendar days for construction with no option periods, not to exceed the amount of $289,900. And if you have any questions, we do have AE staff available.
Hey, Sonny, good to see you again. I'm sorry.
Mr. Vice, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Where specifically are these units located in Agana Heights?
Right across the Naval Hospital gate.
Is that right before Parks and Recs? In that proximity?
So Parks and Rec in the next building.
Gotcha. So it's right after.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it is for.
Was there a laundromat in that area?
4 units?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They're gonna put laundromat space.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. That's a. Oh, it's a 4-unit apartment, okay. Is this the one that it's not even painted, it's just all concrete?
Oh, there's white paint on it, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's white paint.
yeah, but it's not road facing. I
Okay.
believe it's you'll see the side of the building.
Side,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I
And then
know
there's
exactly.
an empty lot.
Is it before Parks and Rec?
It's
Or right
after.
after?
It's
If you're
after.
going.
If I'm going to Snake Road, it's on.
Yeah, it's
It's on the
after.
left.
It's right after.
Okay, it's right
I
after.
think it's even right.
We can do it. We can take you to see it.
Right along.
Yeah.
No, I don't stop.
Got you.
And then it's an empty lot in the front of it.
Yeah.
Where the road's at, which we're going to make into a parking lot.
Oh, nice.
So that
Okay.
property, that piece of property where the parking lot is, was.
Yes.
With the property.
What's the time frame when they said they'll complete it? What is it? 180 days. Okay.
Fortunately, it's a rehabilitation, not new construction, so.
No, that's why-
180 is pretty feasible.
That's why I asked, because rehabilitation, sometimes it's a hit and miss, and there's obvious variables, right? So, okay, that's it. That's all I was wondering.
What
I'm so
happens
excited
if
to
it
get back.
exceeds the 289,900 or, yeah. Like if they come back and say, well, you know what, we need to redo this, or this is, an additional. Is that a change order to where we have to?
Can I answer,
Read.
can I take a crack at this first, Sunny? So if it's a change order, meaning like, for example, either one can bring up a change order. We can lead the change order.
Right.
Now, if the contractor sees something, could be an issue with the scope. Hey, we found something, we need to make an adjustment. That wasn't part of the initial consideration, can bring it to our attention or request a change order, and then that we can institute it. Now, for changes in their pricing, because things went up, unless there was a government action that caused their cost to increase, they could, in that instance, they can request an equitable adjustment. Otherwise, it's a firm fixed price, and if they bid it low, they have to suck it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks for the clarification.
no worries.
Yeah, and in addition to that, usually what we do when we bring in, we will bring in the lowest bidder, the most qualified bidder. We discuss with them first before we bring it to your attention, to make sure that their prices, their procedures, their logistics are kosher. Because that's kind of their first bite at the apple, you might say. And if they say like, well, we kind of, once we start hearing them waver or start to, change their voice tone, like, okay, then we start doubting. But when they say, no, Sonny, this is gonna be our quote, this is what we're gonna do, this is our schedule, we will accept, we will do this.
And if they think they're gonna lowball to win it, then try to get more after, Sonny already knows it's not happening.
Right.
We'll go straight to surety and we'll get another contractor to pay well, they have to pay another contractor to do it. It's gonna cost them more. We just want a good, fair procurement. We want to pay a fair price and we want the project done.
Yeah, and now, they're very competitive. A lot more contractors are being very competitive because what we're finding out, like in defense type of competition, is there are a lot of downsizing that's occurring now because a lot of the projects are getting done. So now you have more contractors that are available for government work. As compared to, let's say, a year ago or 2 years ago.
We were struggling.
It was very difficult, yes.
Okay.
And so now they're competing with overhead and profit. Whereby before as you notice, our estimate is a little high because we put in there an overhead and profit of sometimes 30%. Because that's what we were seeing in the industry. Now, a lot of the contractors are reducing it to almost 15 to 10%, just so that they can win it. Like,
Which is still above the standard, right, for construction.
Right.
And I guess I just asked the question because I'm just, thinking of previous years when we were seeing a lot of change orders.
Yeah,
And so that's why I wanted to find out if.
and we worked those pieces, right, because a lot of that was COVID related.
Yes,
So there
that's
was
what
a
I'm thinking
nexus
also.
to government access, right? Like, hey, the offices were closed, there were shutdowns, things like that, whether it's GHURA or not, it's a government action that did the delay. But now that pretty much all of that is over, there's really not much of, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question.
That's fast.
Good questions, no, appreciate it.
I'm ready.
All right, no questions. All right, you can call for a motion on this, item.
Okay. Is it okay, I make a motion to award the IFB GHURA 24-11 rehabilitation of the Guyana Heights fourplex for two Evergreen Construction Company for $289,900. Not to exceed 180 days, right? Calendar days with no options, periods, not to exceed the amount of $289,900.
Thank you, Commissioner Torres. May I get a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioners. All right, we'll go ahead and take a vote on this Show of hands, please. Four. Item number 6, IFB Laura -2411, rehabilitation to Gang High Sportplex awarded to Guam Evergreen Construction in the amount of $209,900. That's been approved. Thank you.
You've been busy, huh? All these,
Easy.
been busy.
But this is a carry on from the earlier meeting that we didn't have in the month, so. All right, moving along, item number 8, intent of award, item number 7, correction. Intent of award, IFB Gora -24-12, rehabilitation of the Bradley building. Madam Director.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Intent of award, IFB GURA -24-12, rehabilitation of the Bradley building. Bid opening for the subject project was held on August 14th, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. A total of 6 bidders registered for the bid and given bid specifications, of which 4 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. Vendor number 1 was Genesis Tech Corporation, who presented a cashier's check of 15%. And for 120 consecutive calendar days, their total bid amount was $183,000. And the following pages, you'll see the description of 8 items for their bid of $183,000. Vendor number 2 was OH Construction with a bid bond of 15% and a bid of $172,000. They were deemed non-responsive and responsible based on not meeting the requirements. Vendor number 3 was Surface Solutions, presenting a 15% cashier's check. And they had line items of, they had 24 line item descriptions for a total bid amount of $269,888. And vendor number 4 was Asia Pacific International Inc., presenting cashier's check for 15%, and they had one item description for a total bid price of $462,890. The government estimate was $237,933.31. The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GURA are safe and appealing to the residents. The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing. Maintaining the newly acquired building is essential to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GURA are well cleaned and hazard-free for the community. In review of the bid result, Genesis Corp Tech provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award of 120 calendar days for construction with no option periods not to exceed the amount of $183,000 to Genesis Corp Tech. And just so you know, it was asked earlier, the Bradley building was last occupied by Guam Legal Services, and it's located in Anigua, and it's behind Chodi's Market. We purchased this building from Guam Legal Services because of the need for GURA to have a centrally located facility for our filing, storage of our files. So that's what that has been added to GURA's assets. If you have any questions, please ask them.
Madam Director.
I'm all questioned out.
Sure.
Understand. This is just.
So we're utilizing file services right now. The issue is their archives we're required to keep for certain periods of time, sometimes long extended periods. And what we're having in our office is the files are taking up space where we could be putting people to work. And so having a centralized and secure records annex is something that we were looking at. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we might find ways to crunch people up, things could change, but at the end of the day, GHURA owns the building free and clear. We could always sell it if we needed to, but we got a good deal on it. I think below the market, all in all, we probably gain value as a net positive asset for the agency, regardless of what we use it for. But yeah, we're running into space limitations, literally.
That's embarrassing, Bill. You
Jules-
know our intent to award.
Jules,
Oh, sorry.
no worries. Yeah, so that's kind of what started the search, right? Some programs were growing, right? Got additional funding or additional vouchers, needed more people, literally could not physically place those people, so we didn't want it to start affecting our operations.
Right.
So in the interim, so as you can see with Section 8, when they did some of the renovation, was because they're utilizing a file record service, right, which costs them additional money, as you can imagine. But that way we could get the people in, because we wanted to make sure we didn't hurt our operations as we're kind of working this. So Bradley's for now is kind of that final solution. So they're not constantly paying for the record keeping services. Because I think we did it too historically, and then they ended up having that fire, right?
Correct.
So it's different if somebody else damages the record versus us. We want to kind of maintain that as best as we can. So I think in the plans are like, you know, higher security walls, maybe even barbed wiring. We might add it to the security alarm systems. So the physical security is going to be solid, probably more solid than this building, to be honest.
No, and thank you for bringing that up, because you were just touching on something that was important, I was alluding, I was going to bring it up. Based on the specific location of where this place is at, you know, what kind of security are we looking at for this place? Because
yeah, and so there are things like, for example, and we worked with the engineers on that. If the building were going to be occupied by employees, right, you know, throughout the day, then it would need the prerequisite number of windows and fire escapes. But since it's not to be occupied actively, except for, you know, to get records and you know, file and take out, you know, those windows are going to get covered up. It'll be solid. There'll be alarms. We're going to reduce the amount of entrances and exits and do some sealing. And so it's going to be locked up pretty tight. So like I said, definitely more secure than this building. Is kind of that hard requirement. But the neighborhood too, I know there's a lot of interest from, you know, Adelu Public Works to start kind of redeveloping and cleaning that. Right across the street is the shelter that they're renovating. That OHAP is going to be operating, right? So, you know, we're looking at you know, kind of not us, but the community reinvesting in that area, because it is part of the capital.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You might still like need a desk where you pull it when you're pulling out records. To
Yes.
look at it, right?
But that wouldn't be considered occupancy, right? Because they don't have like, we're even thinking like a scanner, so you can scan there and send it straight out. You don't actually get to bring the file back. But that wouldn't be considered occupancy. Right?
Fire alarm.
Yes, all of that.
At a minimum, sir, you'll have at least a fire alarm.
Yeah.
And possibly a restroom.
Yes.
But apart from that, that's it. If it was gonna be fully occupied, we'd have to deal with ventilation issues or air conditioning issues.
there's all the OSHA stuff.
Yeah, there'd still be like an air conditioning to maintain for the record.
Have to-
Yeah, but not for like normal occupancy.
Not for human comfort.
No fire suppression, no.
It'll, depending on what type of files, we may have fire suppression, at least in a certain part of the facility, not for the whole facility.
Especially considering the sensitivity of those files.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fortunately, the risk is, right, because it's not an actively occupied space, right, and it's pretty secure on the inside, there's less of, and that's why we're going through the renovation, right? There's gonna be less risk of a fire, since it's not occupied by people than there would be for the fire suppression system to accidentally go on and mess up the record. But, you know, there's always room to do an analysis and see, we can do a risk-based analysis to see if we need to update it. But for now, we wanted to move it along Because until the renovations are done, right, the building's not secure, even if we don't have files in it, right? We
So
wanna-
you get a better assessment as it draws closer to the completion of the renovation.
I mean, we can always do the upgrades, because there's still gonna be like some IT stuff we're gonna do. Right now, it's just securing the physical structure and getting the security in there. And then we'll come back for, you know, any bells and whistles that may be necessary to make it better.
And you can always have open ceiling, sir.
Sure.
You can always have an open ceiling type where you can expose all the conduits and
Yeah.
the fire protection system. So you don't have to worry too much about the cost.
Yeah.
And you can always upgrade the fire protection via an open ceiling a lot faster.
Because it's not occupied, right? So it can be industrial and exposed.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, everybody. All right, moving along, I'm gonna call for a motion on this item. Item number 7.
I will make a motion to pass ISB GHURA 24-12, the rehabilitation of the Bradley building awarded to Genesis Port Tech in the amount of $183,000.
Thank you, Commissioner. May I get a second, please? Show of hands, let's take a vote on this item. Motion passes. Thank you. Please. All right, moving along. Item number 8, intent of award, IFB GHURA -24-13, office cubicle and carpet replacements.
Yay, the last intent of award. Thank you.
This fiscal year. Yeah. Spend it now.
And maybe before I read it, I think maybe we should mention where it's located. This is for the office cubicle and carpet replacement on the 2nd floor in our community development area. Last year during Typhoon Mawar, that area was the area that the window was blown in, and so they suffered some water damage, etc. And so they're the first to get started with renovations upstairs in that area near the window, and then the other side, RP&E, will be forthcoming. But CD is the first one to get their work done. Okay, intent of award, IFB GHURA yes.
It's just been brought to my attention that this isn't actually for the section you mentioned, it's actually for MIS.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, the cubicle replacement for MIS division.
Okay, got it.
Oh, this is for MIS, and they actually suffered some malware damage as well. I'm so sorry. I really thought that this was for CD. Sorry, Jules.
It's still malware related. Yeah.
Yes.
They did get damaged.
I think maybe next time we need to indicate where in our building it's at. So I'm sorry. Anyways, it's for IFB GHURA -24-13, office cubicle and carpet replacement. Bid opening for the subject project was held on August 21st, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. A total of 4 bidders registered for the bid and were given bid specifications, of which 4 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. Vendor number 1 was Handsome Quality Office Furniture. They did not offer a bid bond, and the delivery date as specified is 60 to 90 days. They were awarded line items number 1 at a total amount of $22,809.96. Vendor number 2 was the Americana Suppliers. They presented a 15% cashier's check, and they were awarded line items numbers 2 and 3 at a total cost of $3,050. So the total cost for this bid is $25,859.96, and the government estimate was $150,000.
Yeah.
I know, what a difference. So GURA's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GURA are safe and appealing to the residents. With the increased number of employees, there's a need to provide office space accommodations for our employees. Installation of cubicles will, number one, reconfigure office layout to provide more efficient space for staff, and number two, create a more efficient workplace by grouping staff together that allows for more collaboration and privacy. The carpet would also be replaced due to the mold, mildew, and wear and tear. And in review of the bid result, handsome quality office furniture, and I'll just reiterate, was awarded $22,809.96 for line item number 1. And the Americana Suppliers was awarded $3,050 for line items 2 and 3. And this award is not to exceed the amount of $25,859.96. If
So
you
why
have
is
any
the monthly
questions.
cost versus an outright purchase? Why is the monthly cost versus an outright purchase or unit cost?
Should that be a correction then? Was it at that?
That's how it was sent out, it's how it's sent out, so.
Thank you.
The typo was when it was sent out.
Correct.
Okay.
It should have been.
So it should be unit cost and total cost
Correct.
versus monthly and annual.
Correct.
Okay.
And the reason why there's no bid down there, for sure, question is because the bid is below the 500,000. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't meet that requirement.
Correct.
And so we didn't state why M80 or American or JMI Edison didn't qualify, or we just,
My Edison is one of the highest.
Okay.
Bidders.
okay,
Yeah.
I got it. No office chairs for 2,000? Wow.
There's a lot, not just one. but
That better give me a massage.
Six each. Yeah.
But it's unit is 2,000.
Which one?
It's 6
Yeah,
at a unit of 2,000. That's, I'm thinking it's each.
yep, you're right. Well, that's why too, it's like the other one,
Mhm.
if they're determined non-responsive or sorry, not responsible, it depends on how they bid, so they can, sometimes that error comes into play too, just like what you saw with the 36. The unit price might be lower, but we can only evaluate what they send in.
Also, they sent in the 2,768 each.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's not a, okay.
Right.
we could assume, but we can't, or have, correct.
Yes. Understand, but not sure. Yeah.
No, that's a very good point. I mean, $2,768 a share.
I mean, it could have been the total price.
Is it total?
This is a
Yeah.
total, so we just divide that.
So you just divide it by 6.
I'm just sure.
Yeah.
That's.
So correction, I'm sorry, go ahead. No,
So why carpet?
Hmm,
Why carpet? I mean, I'm thinking also
The noise.
future, right?
So
Oh,
the
okay.
computers, they have their additional aircon and then the server room's not carpet, right? But I think it's some of the noise insulation, that's why they do the carpet upstairs, because it's all wood.
I think it's
Right.
needs to be replaced also, because it's really.
No, but I'm saying carpet versus tile,
Tile.
because it's a
Yeah.
wood floor.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm just thinking future, right? Like if a flood, I mean, like
Yeah.
a typhoon, God forbid. Easier maintenance to clean
Yeah.
up and we don't have to replace it again.
I think that whole subfloor up there is all wood, right? Because the second floor was built on the roof of the old GHURA. It's pitched, and so you have like,
So
the
you'll
second
hear
floor
that.
sits on top, yes. So it's not actually concrete on the second floor. They just went up on the sides and then filled in the floor with the wood. That's why the water damage from Mawar was on the second floor was extra concerning. Yeah. So if you take all this away, you'll see the old roof. And if you take the floor away, you'll see the top of the old roof. Yeah.
thank you, GB. Tony, thanks for the clarity. Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
So note on the correction, unit cost and total cost.
Yes,
Yes.
and that was just in the summary, right? The typo was just in that summary.
Yeah. So when we motion, we'll go ahead and add that into it in terms of the wording.
Okay,
For transparency.
we'll amend the document. Is that to be okay, right?
Yeah.
For Scrivener's error, Licio?
Correct.
Okay,
So you know, for the cubicle workstation, this price includes installation also.
Correct. All right, Commissioners, if you have no further questions, I'm going to call a motion on this. All right,
we'll move to amend.
sure. We'll move, also, we will move to amend the language on this item as well, before we call to approve it, excuse me. Right. Procedural question.
Yeah.
Structuring the rhetoric motion to make corrections to the wording.
That would be summary, but I think being explicit is fine. You could say replace monthly cost with unit cost and annual cost with total cost across the entire document. And then that should warrant. But you know, technically you could just say that all corrections are made, but that way so it's very clear on the record what correction was made. I would just throw it out there.
Sorry, Judy, reiterate, please, replace unit costs.
The language that we're recommending the board to correct.
Excuse me, the boardroom is muted? Somehow, well, I can't hear you, and it shows muted.
Whoa, how long were we muted for?
No, that was just
Now
me.
it's unmuted.
I was reading on the computer, apologies, Edie.
No worries, okay. So
I'm
just.
getting too comfortable.
No worries. So to clarify, we're just discussing procedurally, right,
Yes.
what the motion should be. The recommended motion for the board is that to amend the language to read as follows. That monthly cost should read unit cost and annual cost should read total cost.
Thank you, Judy.
And that would suffice. And you may also, for the record, Mr. Chair, is to go ahead and just reference page 70 of the board packet.
Got it.
And I'm not sure if it's in the back here as well.
Yeah, 71.
71 or 70?
70 and 71.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think what it was, you were prepping, right, all the board stuff he took from the last one, the grass cutting, and then used the template and build it. Happens, it happens to the best of us.
No worries.
I just never saw a monthly cost for.
Okay, and I would,
Monthly.
excuse me, Judy,
Yes,
I would motion for that correction.
yeah, you call for a motion to amend,
Correct,
so that's the action,
right.
and then to strike out and replace, right?
That's fine.
We're
By
amending the
each
language.
item.
Okay, okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to proceed with calling a motion to correct and amend the wording on page 70 and 71 of your board packages. With the changes specifically towards monthly costs should state unit cost. And then the annual cost should be stated as total cost. Thank you. Can I get a motion on the floor for that correction?
We make a motion to accept.
Just,
I mean,
Yeah, I think you could ask if there's any objections.
Is there any
but
objections
you
to
could,
the-
right, because it's a,
And ask for discussion and then, and then you can go ahead and ask for a vote, no discussion.
all right, fellow members, commissioners, any questions or reservations towards the correction of the wording.
No questions,
Okay, thank you. And
no objections.
no objections. Excuse me. Thank you. And then we'll go ahead and motion for the actual item. Thank you, DB. All right, and now I will call for a motion to award IFB GHURA -24-13 office cubicle and carpet replacements. Can I get a motion, please? All right, call them.
Go ahead.
Okay. I move that we award IFB GHURA 24-13 for office cubicle and carpet replacement to Hanson Quality Office Furniture in the amount of $22,809 and the Americana suppliers in the amount of $3,050, wherein they provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. Total amount of the package should come out to $25,859.96.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And Mr. Chair, I would just add with respect to the delivery date within 60 to 90 days.
Noted. And go ahead, Commissioner.
Delivery, right? Inclusive of delivery date 60 to 90 days.
I second that.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, legal, for that. And we're gonna call for a vote. Show of hands, please. Motion passes. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, legal. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dee, for the procedural. Appreciate you very, very.
Pay attention and know that. That's why I thought. One of the few that do.
I'm like, bro, I need to know how to word this. All right, thank you, legal. Appreciate you
To the
too.
amendment, to the amendment.
When I took the procurement class also, that's what they say, and I'm like, I'm not gonna remember all of this.
Yeah.
I'm not either, Commissioner Forrest.
Oh, no, it's Kimberly's look.
Oh, no, we're moving along. Like,
Okay.
excuse me, sir, we haven't eaten yet. Okay, we're going to item number 9, folks. All right, somebody, a deputy director, board evaluation for CB 2024. Ms. Kim is here.
Okay.
Take it away. Thank you, Madam Director.
This goes to our HR administrator, Ms. Kimberly Berseman.
Thank you, Director Liz, and thank you, Board of Commissioners. Last but not least, I will, it's a very important topic, and so I'm pleased to report back to the board. So we'll start with the summary of the executive management performance appraisals for our Deputy Director, Fernando Diaz-Deves. His review period is August 22, 2023 to August 21, 2024. This represents his annual performance evaluation. So pursuant to 5 GCA, which is the actual law that requires performance reviews of agency head. And so the GHURA Board of Commissioners, just to recap, decided during their July 8, 2019 regularly scheduled board meeting that each board member will evaluate both the executive director position and the deputy director, complete their rating, and forward to HR for compilation. So based on the rating submitted, pleased to report Mr. Fernando Diaz-Deves earned an outstanding performance evaluation rating and will be retained as GHURA's deputy director. Again, this performance evaluation period covers his annual salary increment anniversary review period, which is August 22, 2023 to August 21, 2024. So this performance evaluation was based on the following 13 factors. I'll just go ahead and quickly say what they are: leadership, strategic planning, communicates vision and direction, champions innovation, promotes ethics, builds relationships, decision-making, leads change, inspires and directs actions, promotes diversity, accountability, fiscal, fiduciary responsibility, business acumen, and the effective operation and maintenance of HUD's plans and projects. Therefore, as a result of the outstanding performance evaluation, the GHURA Board of Commission equates this to a 2% salary increment pursuant to our personal rules and regulations and VOC resolution FY 22-006. So request to accept and approve my report, please. Based on the submission. Yes, please accept. Right, legal?
We have to make a motion.
Yeah.
Commissioners, do you have any questions or concerns or want to pick Dee Dee's brains before we go out there?
No matter what you rate me, I'll always answer. And competence is my watchword.
Absolutely. I want to note that in addition to everything Ms. Kim said, I've known you for a very long time and I've never not known you to be a very moral gentleman and very, very good, and very judicious and objective towards your work. And a wonderful father, if I may add as well, and husband. So with that being said, if my colleagues do not have any questions or concerns, I would like to motion to approve Ms. Kim's summary, executive summary of our deputy director, Ms. Fernando Estevez, please.
I approve.
Make a motion to approve,
Oh.
Yeah,
Want to make a motion?
yes, I do.
Oh,
All right.
Mr. Chair, Pro
Yes.
Tem, I would also recommend if it is to be accepted by Ms. Kim, that also a 2% salary increment be imposed effective today.
Absolutely, and note today's date as well. Yeah.
is that outstanding? 2%?
Oh, it's on the fifth.
Oh,
We
Ah,
switched to
got
fixed.
you.
Yeah.
We switched to
Yes.
fixed.
So it's fair across, no,
So go
I
ahead.
feel like outstanding is 6%, you know?
not for upper management,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah.
good.
When motioning to approve, if I may add, please add, follow what legal said by including today's date and the percentage attached to Mr. Estevez. Do you want to write that down?
I think I know how to.
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve the summary of executive management performance evaluation for Fernando B. Estevez, the deputy director. It will also equate to a 2% salary increment pursuant to our personnel rules and regulations and BOC resolution for FY 22 to 2022-006.
And that I be retained.
And that you be retained. We keep him for another year.
Won't let you down.
Thank you. All right, may I get a second, please? Thank you, folks, and I will take a vote. Congratulations, Mr.
Thank
Estevez.
you. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
thank you.
Very happy to be here.
You've been for. Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Okay, I have one more.
Yes.
Okay, I'm pleased to report the summary of the executive management performance evaluation for our director, Elizabeth F. Napoli. Her review period is July 8, 2023 to July 7, 2024. So this represents her annual. So again, pursuant to the Guam Law 528, which provides that the board is supposed to review the executive management at least on an annual basis after their 6-month probationary or performance period, their initial. And so I'm pleased to report, based on the ratings that were submitted, Ms. Director Elizabeth F. Napoli earned an overall highly satisfactory performance evaluation rating as our deputy director for that period I indicated, July 8, 2023 to July 7, 2024. And her factors for evaluation period are those 13 critical elements. I'll say it also: leadership, strategic planning, communicates vision and direction, champions innovation, promotes ethics, builds relationships, decision-making, she leads change, inspires and directs action, promotes diversity, accountability, fiscal, fiduciary responsibility, business acumen, and of course, the effective operations and maintenance of our health plans and projects. So as a result of the highly satisfactory performance evaluation for Director Liz, the GHURA Board of Commissioners also retained Director Napoli as our executive director for the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority. However, pursuant to BOC resolution FY 22006, there's no salary increment adjustment for the executive director's position. the request to adopt the HR report and to retain Director Lee.
I agree. Commissioners, any questions for Madam Director?
If I may, I just want to say, you know, it has really been one of the most rewarding experiences to be here at GHURA since 2019, and to be working with such you know, an excellent group of Board of Commissioners. And I'm really just saying that because of, you know, my experience and, you know, in conversations with other agencies and their boards, I really feel we have a very good board that really gives us the support that we need to continue with our mission. And I really just also want to say that Deputy Fernandez really has been a very good partner and you know, team. He's part of the team that really helps us to continue to make whatever improvements we can while he and I occupy you know, the positions that we're in, because we are only appointed. We don't know how long we're going to be here. So we try to continue to do what we can to leave GHURA in a good place, you know, no matter how long we're going to be here. And so I just want to thank you all for your ongoing confidence and support in our leadership. And I think I speak for Fernando as well in, you know, how humbled and honored we are to work with a really good group. Thank you.
Yes, I'm very happy to work on
How helpful that is. But we're happy to answer any questions. Please ask as many as you want.
Thank you, Madam Director. It is, I think I speak on, oh, Ms. Kim?
Sorry, and
No, no.
on behalf of the employees, we're so blessed to have the board and the executive management team. They're really a super duper team, and they really support the managers and the employees. So,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah,
360
It's-
all the way around.
It's absolutely been an amazing, as Madam Director mentioned, she made a very good point. It's been an amazing relationship, a very great symbiotic, family-driven environment that we've all shared. And, you know, we look forward to it. And yeah, granted, things may be temporary in terms of certain of our positions, but, you know, we're nonetheless gratified and elated by the fact that we're here now, doing something about our future, and most importantly, our government and our clients, all involved. Right? So I'm happy to not just call us colleagues, but friends. Yeah. We love you all.
Love you too. Thank you, Madam Director. We're excited for 2025.
me too.
So with that being said, if there's nothing else my colleagues would like to put up, I'm going to call for a motion to approve our Madam Director, Ms. Moresby. And thank you, Ms. Kim, for all of your continuous hard work.
I will make a motion to approve the summary of executive management performance evaluation for Elizabeth F. Napoli, the executive director. As a result of the highly satisfactory performance evaluation, we choose to retain Ms. Napoli as the executive director of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority pursuant to BOC Resolution FY 2022-006. There will be no salary increment for the executive director position.
Commissioner, if you could also just add the review period.
The review period is for July 8th, 2023 to July 7th, 2024. So this is her annual review.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, may I get a second? Thank you, Commissioner Torres. With that being said, may I get show of hands? Take a vote on this. Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Madam Director. Thank you.
Congrats.
It will be posted on our location.
Sir, we could just adjourn and also set the next meeting.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't turn the page yet.
I thought he was taking over. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going this way.
I know, no, not at all, sir.
All right.
Now my stomach growling.
No, that's like, no, I hear you. All right, we're moving on to the last part, general discussion and announcement. Next proposed scheduled board meeting Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024, at 12 p.m. Please mark it in your calendars. And thank Ms. Audrey for keeping us inundated and posted and with any and all changing in terms of our schedule. Other than that, I want to thank every one of you for our regular scheduled Board of Commissions meeting on this. Time's it on our, excuse me, 2:37, September 24th, Tuesday, 2024. Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Oh, wait, can I get a motion to adjourn our meeting?
I second it.
Can I get a second? Okay, show of hands. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Another thing I ate, because, oh boy, I would not be able to function.